call the meeting of the Catalina Joint Unified School District to order and ask you to all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I note the presence of members Miller and Coate and the absence of members Bannister and Snelling tonight. I have a motion to approve the agenda. Moved by member Miller.
Second.
Seconded by member Coate. All in favor? Aye. Oh, I forgot to also say, and we have our school board member present tonight. Thank you. I have a report out from closed session, and I would like to note that the Board of Education took action on a motion made by member Coate and seconded by member Miller, followed by a 3-0 vote to appoint Darlene Pittman to the position of Dean of Students of Mesa View Middle School.
Board. Thank you. I didn't prepare remarks. Mesa View is a fabulous school. I'm so glad that I've been a part of it since it opened in 2009 with Mr. Stoles. And my goal for the next few years is just to make it get better and better. And it's all about our students. So thank you.
Thank you, Darlene. We have all the confidence that you can do just that. Letting know we'll find somebody else. All right, the next item on our agenda is our highlight with the High Valley Water District and the Solar Challenge. Mr. Zoba, thank you. Did you want to say anything? How are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself? Great. Good evening. My name is Joe Zoba. I'm the general manager with the High Valley Water District. And every year we have a great event that we partner with the High School. And it's the Solar Challenge, where the high school students actually build a boat that they ride in. And it's powered by solar panels and a motor. And they put together the alignment of the motor, the alignment of the solar panels, and they compete in things like a slalom event, endurance, how much you can charge a battery to do laps around the Yucatan Regional Park. And we're really fortunate. MWD, Metropolitan Water District, does the event similar to us. But since we're outside of the Metropolitan Water District service area, we decided to host the event ourselves. And we're really fortunate because we end up using the Yucaipa Lake. So it's very close for the students who participate. You have a great teacher that advocates for this program. Carl Opstol is just a fantastic leader for these children. And I've had the opportunity to have my daughter for 4 years participate in the event. Because we were talking about it, I guess we've been doing it for 7 to 10 years that we've been doing this event. But after all those years, Mr. Opstol has been putting in money and time out of his own pocket. We want to change that. So on behalf of Yucaipa Valley Water District, we would like to make a donation of $2,500 to the engineering department at Yucaipa High School. Thank you so much for all you do, Carl.
Thank you. And you do have to turn the money over to us, though.
I just also, why Mr. Zoba is here, I want to thank him. The Water District has this amazing water filtration plant up there on Oak Glen Road, Crystal Creek. And not only do they have a great meeting space that Mr. Zoba's allowed us to use from time to time, but also they pay for us to have our students go on field trips there. And so our partnership is really taking off. And in addition, looking at the future needs of our community and employment, we're working on those kinds of projects that will help our career technical education students be good employees for Mr. Zoba's team. So there's a lot we can do in our community, and it's really nice. Also, Mr. Zoba participates in a joint collaboration meeting with both cities, Crafton Hills, and ourselves, where we work on things like if he's going to put in a water line somewhere, and we're going to be redoing that parking lot, we all work together to coordinate efforts so we don't tear it up 3 or 4 times, which can happen when A doesn't know what B's doing. But I just want to thank Joe for that partnership because it really has helped.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. The next item on our agenda is public comment, and I have one person to speak during regular open public comment. This is a 3-minute time limit. Lauren Hernandez. I'm sorry, the other ones I have items listed on them.
Calm down because I had this time of 2 minutes. For some reason, I thought it was 2, so I can talk fast, so I'm going to try to slow down. So good evening, everyone. At the last board meeting, I asked for responses for 2 things: the number of the campus monitors / security guards at all the schools, and the plan to get the smoking, vaping, and drug use under control at the high school and middle schools. I did receive the data on the staff numbers, so thank you for that. But still haven't heard anything about the plan. Is there one in place? Is there something new or just being updated? I personally have been speaking about the issue here on the drugs and office in the background for months now, so I really hope it's being taken. I still would like that response. There is one monitor at the entrance, and I hear 2 to 3 people in the back of the school. So this really only leaves 6 to 7 people to cover the rest of the campus, and we know our campus is huge. Maybe there's a need to hire more monitors or possibly even send it out to school. So this brings me to the next issue. What is the district's policy when it comes to disruptive students, as well as the steps taken to discipline? I would like a response. I'm asking this because I was brought to the attention of an altercation at the high school while I was out walking and knocking campaigns on the street corner. First, let me say, in no way do I approve of any students or staff being disrespectful or disruptive in any form. I also do not in any way approve of anyone laying hands on others. Adults, we need to be mindful of what a student might be bringing with them to the school. A troubled heart, mind, body, soul. We don't know what their background is. I am aware that at some point in this altercation, a teacher went toward a student, and at some point he then had the student's hat in his hand. I was told that he snatched it off of his head. Why would a teacher even go towards a student in that way? It could be thought of as aggressive behavior to him, especially when they have been abused or traumatized. I'm aware that the child pushed the teacher away from himself multiple times, and he should have stopped after the first. However, that teacher kept walking right back into the child's personal space, and up like this to his face. Multiple times. I have been told that the student never takes his hat off. I don't know why. I don't know if the teacher asked why. I don't even know if that was what the issue is. And if it is, this is part of the new dress code. Lots of kids wear hats all day long in classes and out. Why would a teacher attempt to handle a situation like this or any other major disruptive situation in this classroom instead of just calling for security? Figures out that they don't want to write referrals because they don't want to get reports, and I don't know why, but that's what I have people tell me, teachers and staff, teachers and students included. And the problem with this is it went on for quite a while, and it took away from the instruction.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, the next item on our agenda is student board member report.
Okay, hello. So just to start off with general things that are going on in the high school, sports, we still have continuing with water polo, girls golf, volleyball, tennis, football, basketball, cross country, and we also have the improv team starting to compete as of recently. Thunderbird Theater is also planning their first fall play production, which is going together and is planned for, I think, sometime in November. The bathroom policy, I talked to a couple of students. They have had overall good feedback. However, some students have mentioned, notably during times around like lunches, some kids, they can find vaping in the bathrooms, but it's been at a severely lower rate than previously, which is good. Club Rush happened just last Friday, which went really well. We had all the clubs come out and be able to show all the students what they had to offer and campaign for them to join. Our fall rally is coming up, as well as our annual haunted house is coming back. Finally, I was having that again. So that is planned for October 22nd. And the teachers, Mr. and Mrs. Slimner, were really campaigning to make this the best thing. The organization Avenues we have in school is having a trip up and down California to visit multiple universities coming up soon, as well as the school also celebrated Latino Heritage Month by putting up posters around the school commemorating Latino heritage and history, and really just be able to like show that part of representation in our school. Multiple colleges have also came to visit the Kaiba High School as of recently and be able to show students what they had to offer through their universities. And with that, basketball workshops in government and economic classes are starting to be instated, as well as grad fairs this Thursday. That's it.
Thank you. Any questions?
Grad fair is this Thursday.
Item on the agenda is our RFP report. Is that
Right, there's so many great things happening with Cry Rock, but I wanted to talk about a couple really interesting things that we have. Sorry, I'm going to read this. That we had Kaiba High School had 2 certified medical assistant students recognized by the College Board for extraordinary academic performance and have been awarded the National Hispanic Recognition Award. So that's really cool. And this one's amazing. The Kaiba High School automotive teacher, Maria Lozano, was contacted by a former student that had enlisted in the Army, and he will be working as an aircraft mechanic. So I think that's super cool. We have such great programs through Cry Rock, and that just highlights it.
Right, the next item on the agenda is our second review report bylaw 9000. There's no comments or questions. I take a motion on that.
Who has it? Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. 8.02 is the second review of the revised board bylaw 910. Questions or motion?
Who has it?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 8.03 is regarding the proposal RFQs for architectural services. Are there any comments on that item?
So thank you, Ms. Ingram. We have, the board has committed dollars to projects throughout the district, and certain projects require approval for the Division of State Architect. And so that's unique to school districts. And so to submit those projects, you have to submit them through a certified architect. So we went out for RFQs for architects and submitted letters to 32 firms. 16 replied. We interviewed 6. These are the 4 that we have selected to go forward. This is a pool of architects, so that for different projects, depending on their expertise, we can use their services. Several of them we have used in the past and are familiar with, but those are the 4 that got through the entire process.
So at this point, they're not actually hired to do a project. They're just part of our consultant staff.
Correct. They'd be in a pool of architects that we would use for future projects.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Take a motion to approve these 4 architects.
Motion to approve 4 architects.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. 8.04 is our electronic door entry contract for improvements. Do you have any comments on that? Any staff report on that? I was just curious about this. If you could just tell us about how this bid came about.
Sure, thank you. So as part of the safety plan for our district, we do have door buzzers at a few of our schools. And so we want to make sure all of our doors have a door buzzer system. And so that involves cameras at the front door and then the office staff buzzing visitors in. So this is under the $60,000 threshold for a formal bid or an informal bid was not required. And so we did go out and get several quotes. Doug Moore and Duncan are the folks who did our previous door buzzers who have been very happy with and schools have been happy with. So this is why they were selected.
Thank you. Okay, do I have any comments, questions, or a motion?
Motion to approve. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, next item is regarding our public hearing on textbooks. Didn't we already have the public hearing? I just see the motion on this, right? It says public hearing, but didn't.
Well, we have this.
That's what I thought.
Sorry. I apologize. No, this is the one
We need to do the public hearing.
Oh, because it wasn't on the agenda for the public hearing.
This is,
It doesn't say open and close. Like normal. Does it say open and close?
it should, yes. Okay, I apologize. And actually, just for the audience sake, this is why we have this meeting as an offset. We have to have a meeting by the 8th week of school from the first day. So this is a bonus meeting that we have. So that's why we have it opposite.
Okay, so we need to open the public hearing. Okay, so I'll open the public hearing and I give it a clock. So we'll open it at 6:46. And see that there's no one to speak regarding this item. So I'll close the public hearing at 6:47 and ask for any other staff report or anything that we're good with everything. Any comments?
Move approval.
Second. Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Right, the next item is Red Ribbon Week resolution, and I do have some requests to speak on that. I have 2 people requesting to speak. You have 5 minutes for an item that's on the agenda. Michelle Ford, followed by Lauren Hernandez. Michelle, there you are.
First, I'd like to say that I was pleased to see the email that went out last week about the fentanyl crisis that has been targeted towards our kids and young adults. I personally lost my 20-year-old nephew to fentanyl poisoning last November, and I hope I can bring the awareness to the deadly consequences that just one pill can have. As you are probably aware, YCJUSD has seen 9 fentanyl poisonings within the past 2 weeks, one resulting in death in a high school student on campus. I know an agenda item tonight will be addressing the use of Narcan on school campuses. I'm not sure of the time frame the district is looking at having that available on all campuses, but I hope the availability will be widespread to include that it be carried by school safety officers and security at all times. I would also hope that all school staff and teachers be trained on what a fentanyl or opioid overdose looks like, because there's only a small window of time to administer the Narcan for it to be successful. In the nurse's office, guys going down back to high school, that's not enough time. So it really needs to be administered throughout the school. I know there's a resolution tonight regarding Red Ribbon Week, and I believe that is the perfect time for our first responders, our city officials, district staff, and parents to really come together and educate our children on what fentanyl can be disguised in, such as marijuana, Xanax, Adderall, etc. And now the scary of the ones. These kids are self-medicating themselves for a myriad of reasons and buying what they believe to be legitimate prescription opioids. And what they're getting is a lethal dose of fentanyl. It only takes 2 milligrams of fentanyl to be lethal, which is equivalent to 12 grains of salt. I believe we need real-life education for our students and parents by first responders on what these drugs can look like, how these drugs are being distributed, primarily through dealers using social media, and what the deadly consequence is to just taking one pill. I don't think the slogan for this year's Red Ribbon Week, celebrate life, live drug-free, is getting the message out there that one pill can kill you. A kid might be given what he is told as a prescription pain reliever because he complained of hurting himself at football practice, and he's found dead by his parents in his bedroom. Did that kid think of himself as a druggie or not living drug-free and think that just one pill would kill him? But this is the reality we are facing in this war against our kids and young adults, and we have to do everything in our power to educate them. Is wearing red ribbons cute? Sure. But what does that really teach you? The last thing, as a parent of a sixth grader, I would like to know is when the drug dogs on school campuses find drugs and they are confiscated, can we as parents be notified on what drug was found and on what? We are truly trying to help our children during the score that is being reached on them. As a parent, we need to be informed on exactly what is happening. More than 300 deaths a day occur due to fentanyl. Let's do everything in our power to not let the next step be high risk. Thank you. Thank you.
This is perfect timing with the fentanyl epidemic that Michelle spoke about. Our students, but staff in our community during this record. Actually, should be a little more. This isn't just about learning about rhythm, there's a deeper education. In my day, when my adult children were in school, there were studies and during school and after school where parents could go to learn the latest in the drugs that were available on the streets. There would be picture boards, true drugs that had been confiscated through the city's police department. And then we had police and paramedics to explain how a person might behave under the influence of these different drugs and of course the resources to get help. If we could get our first responders, city officials, district staff, and parents to learn what the difference is, how a person behaves, and then overdose, I think we'll be able to accomplish more. We also need to find a way to direct families to where to find help for counseling and medical treatment. Many children, as well as many adults, medicate themselves, and they don't have the experience to deal with the coping skills. As Michelle said, students have pain medication, rightfully so. However, do you know which student has the right stuff and if he shares it with his friend? My kids and grandkids are athletes, and I know it happens. Luckily, I'm there, so I give them oils or liquid CBD, something that's natural is legal with the parent's permission. Kids don't ask that; they don't know. They can be given something and expect something totally different. We've had so many major fentanyl buses within our close cities. Students have overdosed to die and be proactive and teach them harmful effects of any drug, especially this one that's so strong. Just enforcing the no drug and no illegal substances on campuses may not be enough, but it is a start.
Thank you. This item, do you have some update?
Yes. Oh, sorry. The staff is trained. Staff is trained and also are instructed on what it looks like because that's.
So we will have, I want to publicly thank Dr. Berry. We've applied for the grant for the Narcan on our campuses, but it was about 8 to 11 weeks out. And so you have to have an authorizing physician who will then support your nurse, our RN, in the training and administering the training and giving the drugs to the antagonist drug to our health techs, which are our LVNs, as well as other staff. So that has all been in the process. We actually have the Narcan, and we will have all administrators are being trained tomorrow. Campus monitors have been trained. All of our health techs is what we call them. There are LVNs and our field assistants will be trained, and it's voluntary training. The law says it's voluntary. So that after we have that system all in place, then we will give additional training to any employee that wants to be trained. And our parent education piece is coming as well. We will be sending out some additional parent square messages. We can see how many of them are read. We got a lot of phone calls about the one that you mentioned, Mrs. Sports, and thank you for that. And we're going to, as we get closer to Halloween, we are going to be sending out more parent education. We know there's a point of saturation level for that kind of communication, so we will also have our schools doing some things. And also just, it was mentioned about the slogan for Red Ribbon Week, and it's the national slogan that we have. However, our schools do a lot to participate. We typically gather that information ahead of time, and there's normally a news story that goes out with what all of our schools are doing to educate and of course talk about prevention. But we also, especially with what's going right now, the current crisis and the local lives with Skittles and sidewalk chocolate, those kinds of things, that our parents are well aware. The idea, I like parenting become so technology driven that we're doing the parents for that way, but the suggestion of a possible parent meeting regarding this, because I remember a couple of years ago, we were training some of our staff regarding the vaping products because they can look like a mascara case, or they can look like a lipstick case, or they can look like all these things that you don't think of as, you know, the old style cigarettes, you knew what a cigarette was and everybody knew what it was, but the vaping stuff is completely different. And I'm thinking that maybe even from a parent standpoint, maybe we should look at having some kind of a informational meeting just about like today, you know, I don't know what else you would call it, things that we have. Yeah, go ahead. One of the things we had prior to 2020 was the Sheriff's Department doing HOPE events. And so along with us, we had several topics that suicide was one of them, drug awareness and education. And so the gentleman who was doing them then has now since retired, but they have a new one in place. I talked to our police sergeant, so we're working on getting that scheduled for him to come out. Also, along with Red Ribbon, I wanted to share that there's a program called Vape Educate that our high school is using, and students that have infractions that are with vaping, they're going through that program as a must do. And I will say that you know, it's an addiction. And so we have to work with parents as well. One of the things that our principal, I met with our high school principal this morning, and he said, now what we see happening is kids will give the vape pen to someone, they'll take a puff, and the kid that actually has it will walk away. Then Mr. Scholes exhales, and the smoke is there, that, you know, and so then, you know, the person goes to him and then he doesn't have anything on him. So we're really trying to work smarter and trying to make sure that we can get ahead of our students. And like I said, it's an addiction. And so we have to have the treatment in place, and that's what we're working on. Also, in regards to vape detectors, we've had several models that we've looked into. Most vape detectors are put in the bathrooms and places where we think that kids might be doing that. And I know Dr. Green's got a model in his office, but one of the things that other superintendents have told me is that if it goes, sends a noise and it goes, then the kids scatter. So you've got to have something that, you know, goes right to your, like an app, or sends you a text message. It can't send an email. And so we're working on finding the perfect one. And I found a superintendent who's had some success in another district. And so we're trying to get a pilot on that. But getting those installed, they all have to be hardwired. Most of them also need internet. So of course, especially when you're looking at the geographical layout of Iowa High School and making sure we have strong enough connections, we're doing that work. And Mr. Kirkland in technology has been working on that for the past few months. And that's, I think the last meeting we had was about two weeks ago. So we're working to get those in place, but it's a battle. It's definitely a battle, and we're working with our parents to be able to identify some of those behaviors as well. Thank you.
Okay, I have a vote. Do I have a motion on the ribbon resolution? So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Next item is 8.07, our agreement with South Coast Community Services. Any questions or comments on that? Motion.
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, 8.08 is our second review regarding charter school oversight. Comments or questions on that? All in favor, or motion?
Oh, so moved. Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? 8.09 is the resolution for the week of the school administrator. Comments or questions on that one? Motion?
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Aye. And want to just make a special thank you to the school administrators. It's been a tough road these last few years, and we really do appreciate all the work that they do. 8.10 is regarding the internship permit. Comments, questions on that one? Motion?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The next one is the declaration of need. Any comments or questions? All in favor, or motion, sorry.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The next item is our consent calendar. Any changes, comments, questions on it? We have a motion to approve the consent calendar.
Move approval.
Okay, our next, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed. Our next item is just a review of the deletion of a board policy regarding high school graduation. Do not delete high school graduation requirements, just so everybody knows, make sure everybody knows that school didn't delete them. Any comments or questions? No? Okay, the next item, 10.02, is regarding administrative medication and health conditions. I have one speaker. Mr. Hernandez, would you like to speak about 10.02 and 03 together?
Yeah.
Okay, that'd be great. Come on
So I have started looking at, superintendent duties and schools, because I had been asked by parents if we had more time available in schools. Good question, I'll find out. And I was told that they're in the process of redoing the policy and looking to have it and training and all that stuff. So thank you. I was a Christian and I was able to email people back, and they are so excited to know that things are moving forward. So I'm obviously going to talk about the board policy part. I see a lot of changes that hits hurts your child and there's stuff like that, which is typical and that done that with the different units I work with. I was pleased to see that a whole section was added to the board policy where it says the superintendent or designation or other operating antagonists available for emergency medical aid to any person suffering or reasonably believed to be suffering from an emergency. So that was our young administrative regulation, and that's when my pointed out to me. And then just some more language clean up. I am concerned about one part though about in the term medication available, the superintendent.
Excuse me, just was it reading in the AR or in the board policy?
It is,
Just so we can keep up with you.
I believe it's in the AR.
Okay. Thanks.
Under administration of. Okay, no. I can.
Go ahead and keep reading. We'll find it once now. I know which document to look at.
So, and it's already been in the policy, so this primary isn't added.
Okay.
I'm in determining whether to make this medication available, the superintendent or designee shall evaluate the emergency medical response time to the school and determine whether initiating emergency medical services is an acceptable alternative to providing the opioid antagonist and training personnel to administer the medication. And it states that. So my questions are, has the length time for the EMRs to arrive to each of our schools been determined? And if so, I'd like to know what that is. Has the length of time been determined on how long a person who is overdosing can wait to receive an Narcan? From what I understand, it should be pretty doggone quick. The answer to my question is more time currently available, so I could cross that off. And then in light of the fentanyl epidemic, do we want to wait for the EMR to have someone, possibly someone's trained instead to provide that antagonist? I would rather be able to have, if I was on a school campus, when I was on the school campus, I actually worked with at-risk kids and they did trade drugs. We had to have them walk past a dog on the way into class. And I would rather be the one to have that and be able to provide that immediate help to a student of mine. So I'm hoping that we're not just waiting for the paramedics or the fire and sheriff. When I spoke with a lot of them at the festival, they said that they seriously don't think they would get that unless they happen to be right there. And how often does that happen? So I would like those answered, and I'm glad about the NAEP education process. I had a couple parents who said, "What's this, Mike?" I said, "Well, good. I'm glad your kid got busted. It's about time." I said, "Just imagine it's going to happen more and more." I said, "Because people are getting tired of this, and you need to tell your kids how dangerous this is." I would kind of like to know what you teach in their class, because then that like it helps when I help parents out. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. These are just for review, if there's no comments or questions. Okay, all right. The next item, 10.0, that's kind of for 10.02 and 10.03, just to clarify, everybody's good on both of those. Okay. 10.04 and 05 are regarding the board policy and AR on asthma. Comments or questions on that? I just have one question. Are we going to get a board policy and AR on every medical situation? Or, I mean, can't we just have some kind of generic something? Or do we have something that sort of covers that already? What are you thinking?
Well, the specific plan and so for instance, let's take peanut allergies. We have a lot of kids with different allergies, and peanut allergies being one that is probably very common. And so in our nursing plan, we have responses for peanut allergies. So for instance, in going to print, not only do we have flow chart laminated cards for the administration of Narcan, we also have a sign being put up with saying there's a peanut allergy. We'll have, so that's a lot of it is policy that is, or procedures that are in our nursing handbooks. And then the ones that are coming forward are coming from Ed Code and other places. So it's not going to be for every single one, but I want to make sure the board is aware that we're also developing plans for diabetes, and we're also, and we're addressing asthma and peanut allergies. And so those are the ones that we're taking a big look at and consider that, and they're very common. And they're very specific treatments that our staff needs to be trained in.
First, I'd like to thank our student services team because they're absolutely amazing. Mrs. Burkhardt and her team have really gone through and looked at our current policies and procedures, and we're just making sure that we're updating to have proper practices in place. And a special thank you to our district nurse, Dr. O'Beer. She's amazing. She keeps us all in line and updated, and she's very thorough. So we want to just make sure we're supporting our students in the right way.
And it's my understanding that one of the changes will be putting in our students that we know have a certain condition. They're going to start getting direct information to their teachers so that they know it. I mean, they've had that before, but they will know. We're working more aware.
We're working on having more direct communication. We have to go through HIPAA training first. And so everyone will be HIPAA trained, and that way we understand our responsibilities and not sharing personal information of our students. But for the health and welfare and safety of our students, we want to make sure that the right people have the right information. So that, and that also, it would take the opportunity is when parents enroll, it's really important that we know what you know. It's really important because while it may seem like something small, like an allergic reaction to something, to Play-Doh, let's say, or something that you know about that we don't know. If we don't know, then we can't guard against it. So when parents enroll, they have the opportunity to share those things with us, but then also as I have a lot of allergies that I didn't have that I was, when I was little. And so as students grow and mature, sometimes they'll develop other conditions. We want to encourage our parents, and we'll be sending out reminders to make sure that they go back and share information with our LVNs and our health techs. Any other comments or questions?
I just have one question. We currently have things on campuses.
All right. we're down to additional administrative information. Any other comments from? Ruben? Mr. Pelkey, any comments, questions? All good? Member Coe?
I just wanted to say, Michelle, thank you for coming. I think tonight was very informative and I think we're moving in the right direction. I applaud you guys for stepping up and taking, getting ahead of the situation.
I don't know if Darlene's still here, but congratulations, Darlene. And you said something at the end. You said it's all about the students, and I appreciate that. I love that. Michelle, I'm sorry about your nephew. Makes me, and I'm glad that we're doing something. And hopefully, it does not happen around here at our school. Thanks, Noah. Always very informative. And that's it.
Thank you. I only have one other comment, which is regarding one of the statements that was made by the public. I think that it was regarding the disruptive situation in the classroom. And I think it's important for everybody to remember that there is a due process that we go through for every event at the school, between students, between staff, between everybody. And it's important that rumors are not spread because people do not know entire situations unless they were there as part of it. And so I think it's really helpful that everybody keep in mind that we do have a process we go through and we take it very seriously and we're following for every event, not just this one event, for every event at the school. That's all. I appreciate
I always do this, I forget. I wanted to thank you, Cuyahoga Valley Water District too, for this donation. That's very nice.
Absolutely. We adjourn tonight in memorial adjournment in memory of Joanne DeMille, who worked as an instructional aide at Yucaipa High School from September 19, 1977 until she retired on June 10, 2005. And Jim Davis, who worked as an automotive teacher at Yucaipa High School from September 2nd, 1970 until he retired April 15th of 2000. He was the automotive teacher when I was there, and he really was career tech ed. that was him all the way. So with that, I adjourn us back into closed session.